Yes, yes. Welcome to the line. The legendary,
I'll go on, Jimmy.
legendary Shaggy. Appreciate you checking in with me today, my good brother. Appreciate you. How you living?
I'll go on some work, continue working and
Bunch of
shit.
work.
Yeah, get
Where,
myself
where you
stuff on.
located at right now? You in America or you in Jamaica? You worldwide?
I'm
You international right now?
no, I was in Jamaica. I'm back in New York now. I probably leave in a couple of days back to Jamaica and stuff. So doing some
Okay,
some
man. You look like you know
some
you,
music, you know.
how we feeling? How we moving? Hot Shots 2020. Tell me about it. Let's talk. Let's
Um,
talk.
yeah, it's been doing well for us so far. Obviously, a lot in part to do with Banana, which has been doing just incredible for us around globally.
Hmm.
And so I literally wanted to put out an album, but the reason why I did it, it was coming up to 20 years of Hot Shot, and the label had asked me if I was interested in doing like a remaster.
Hmm.
I didn't feel like doing like a remaster 'cause I think just everybody do it. So I just, me being me, want to be outside the box a little bit. I said, why don't I do a re-recording? And part of the reason of that is a lot of the kids were doing TikToks to like Wasn't Me and
Yeah, yeah.
Banana and all these songs. So I wanted these younger kids to really experience what we experienced back in 2000 with these amazing songs. So I literally just solicited like great producers, young producers that want to do like trap, producers that do like Afrobeat and reggaeton, and just kind of create like a hybrid style to a lot of these recordings. And I kind of like how the outcome was going when I did the first five tracks, which were the singles, Angel, Wasn't Me, Love Me, and keeping it real and Hot Shot. Then I went ahead, I said, why don't I put that same concept to some of the older tracks, like Mr.
Yeah.
Bombastic, Old Carolina, Strength of a Woman, Hey Sexy Lady. And at that point, I just kind of call it Hot Shot 2020, but with the journey of Shaggy, because all of these songs were Hot Shot was a very monumental album for dancehall because of the fact that was the album that really brought numbers to the game and gave us a seat at the
Definitely,
at the
definitely.
table.
I
But
noticed it
but
like went from
yeah,
that one level to like
yeah,
another
to another
level
level,
after
yeah.
that.
But in fairness, there were a lot of groundwork that was done before with songs like Mr. Bombastic and Old Carolina and Summertime and Love Me with Me and Janet. These records were records that we literally did. And those helped to make dancehall become this art form or this genre that was cool, and it's still that genre cool factor. It's probably one of the lowest streaming genres, and that's us with a whole lot of other issues and problems. But as
Yeah.
far as the cool factor of dancehall, that still resonates with through reggaeton and Afrobeat and all of these things.
Definitely, definitely. How was it going in there and re-recording some of these legendary songs? Did some of the recordings not come out like the first time? It's hard comparing to because you have songs that are impactful, timeless songs, like a bunch of them. So how
Yeah.
was it, getting in there, basically battling against yourself?
Uh, the, the
How was that?
the thing about it is, obviously that's going to go through your thought, because then you're going to have those purists, people who are straight fans of you, will be like, yo, I like the original, and I'm going to tell you, I like the original too. So, but you have nothing to worry about because the original is still available. You can just download it there.
I'm still here.
Yeah, there. Those originals are still available on any streaming platform there is. So you ain't really got to worry about that. You know what I mean? But a lot of these kids, they'll buy into this new stuff because of the fact that, it's really sounds like what their culture is in, and the culture is now shifted.
Hmm.
So the style of music that we used to be using and used to, I mean, to them, that's not what they connect with now. They connect with a different style. A lot of it has to do with trap sounds and stuff like that, and Afrobeat sound, and it's a feel because if you listen trap is really double.
Hmm.
Trap is really from King Toby. That's all trap is. It's just a hybrid.
Wow.
It's a hybrid version of dub. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
All right. If you listen to Afrobeat, is heavily influenced of dancehall because what dancehall
Absolutely.
back in the days, why I used to do stadiums in Africa, and it was predominantly the music was dancehall that was being played in Africa.
Absolutely.
If you look at reggaeton, reggaeton came from dancehall through El Genero, who him and I used to run Brooklyn together and with Gungi and Uptown and all of that shit. So that now also comes from that. So it's just hybrid versions of these things. You
How
know what
does
I'm
it
saying?
feel to transcend these genres? Because you've been here for a long time, even through the advancement of dancehall from being one style to another style, and to today to incorporate those trap elements. How does it feel to transcend different genres of music? Because you've even had an album with Sting. Like, how does it feel?
For me, it's easy because there's no two Shaggy songs. When I came in, I was doing dancehall, original dancehall first with Big Up and Mumpy and all of them songs. If you're a
Yeah,
DJ, you know all those songs. Those are traditional dancehall records that as we knew them, 90s style dancehall. But I was never satisfied. I went on tour with Max the Priest, and I was in places like I was in um, Brazil and places like doing Rock in Rio, and realized that it was 60, 70,000 people rocking the Maxi Priest, and Maxi Priest records weren't playing the dancehall. It made me realize there's a bigger audience out there. So my style of music, I started to like other things. Like when Sting International came with that beat for Old Carolina,
mm-hmm.
that grabbed my ear because it was different. You know what I mean? And I wanted to. I was craving different stuff. You know what I mean? So if I was doing any type of music, even though it's dance, and I was criticized by the purists because the purists are gonna be like, well,
Absolutely, absolutely,
they're like,
absolutely.
well, yo, you do, R&B record, and you do, you know what I mean? Your shit ain't authentic and rah rah, and it ain't pure, And I'm like, there's no such thing as pure music. It's seven notes: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I mean, hello,
Yeah.
we're not inventing the wheel here. You know what I mean? It's been done. But what you do is come up with hybrid versions of it, different feels and styles and way, and that will grab new people and grab new generations to come, which is all I did, was basically created different feels. When I came in Mr. Bombastic, there was nothing on the radio that sounded like it. You know what I'm saying? And that different and surprise element is what I liked. And then afterwards I did, when I did Angel and Wasn't Me, we was in Britney Spears and NSYNC mode.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah,
it was. Yep,
right. So
yep.
we grab the attention of those people, and it's the same thing with somebody like Sting, who when you listen to the Police music, he was trying to do. Um, he did a hybrid version of what the authentic, what Steel Pulse or Bob Marley and these guys did, and created the sound of the Police. Which one thing you could say about the Police to every other rock band down there, their stuff was really different sounding compared to everything, and even Sting continued on that. That's a lot of what we have in common. Him and I like to take chances. Him and I like to go against the grain. Him and us, he and I like the element of surprise, which is what we did on 44876, and nobody could believe it. You look on paper, it looks weird. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, definitely,
But
definitely.
once you came to the concert and you hear the songs back to back, and he's singing my song, I'm singing his song, and we do most of these catalogs of reggae on the album. And a lot of people are scared when they go out there. Big artists will only sing just the hits, and even when they have a new album, you got to put these songs and sing this album. You got to stand behind your recording. Sting always tell me that: stand behind your recording. You put something out, stand behind it, and that's great.
A lot of what you just said kind of put me in the mindset of the only modern day current artist that I would be able to compare what you just said, what you built your career based on, I would say would be Drake, because you just basically described Drake's style of music, how he'll incorporate different genres. And I'm sitting here like, whoa, Shaggy was the original Drake that wasn't afraid to, kind of jump in there and mix it up. So big up to you for that. I didn't even realize, just throughout you just talking right now, I'm like, oh, that sounds a lot like, what Young Drizzy's doing right now.
I, I wish I was doing Drizzy's numbers.
Well, stadium wise, you are. I think so. When you
I no, well,
60, 70,000.
in fairness, when we were selling Diamond in those times, we were doing those numbers. It's just a lot has changed now. I mean, it's streaming numbers. A lot of these things come straight to you. You're able to reach more people. You're also in the top genre. Drizzy is doing hip hop, which is the leading genre
Mm-hmm.
in music right now. At the time when I was doing those numbers, my genre didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I was going against the
Definitely.
grain. So I doing these numbers and selling diamond, but there's no radio station that supported dancehall or reggae. You know, there's just
Yeah.
there's no lane for it. So I was really going against the grain. Drizzy is having an easier time because there was people that said it from before him. There was Jay that did work. There was Nas that did work. There was
Mm-hmm.
Little Wayne that put him on,
Absolutely.
that co-signed him
Absolutely.
and put him on. I came on this scene in a genre that didn't exist, right?
Yes. You did.
With zero cosign. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
Not
saying?
even from it wasn't even an American thing to really embrace reggae or
Exactly.
dancehall, anything
Exactly.
like that back then.
Exactly. And I did, and I was in a genre that wasn't a popular genre. So really, what we did was kind of miracle. I would sit down. I remember I was at Rocket Studio back in the days when Puff was at Uptown at the time, working for Andre Harrell, and I used to share that rehearsal studio Rocket with like Jodeci and them and Mary. I remember them days. I remember when Big came there for the first time, and he was
Wow.
nobody. He was on Supercats. They're just trying to get him on Supercats remix. You know, what I mean, I've been there.
Yeah, yeah. Dolly Dolly, my baby. Yep.
Yeah, I was in there with Ralph McDaniels going through Starlight Ballroom in Brooklyn with Jay and Dame running around. You know, what I mean, we running into each other. So it's really amazing that I've survived it this long in a genre that didn't exist, right? At it in 30 years and still be be
Absolutely.
making that kind
Absolutely.
of waves and still doing the numbers. You know, on Banana right now we're streaming 1 million a day
Wow.
in this
Wow.
streaming. You know, we have now become in the Netherlands. We are the number one um, summer song of all time
Wow.
in the Netherlands. I mean, I'm just showing you
Yeah, yeah.
the dynamics of of how it is, and I just don't know how it works, but it just kind of go that way.
How do you think things are gonna be moving post COVID-19? Because I know you do a lot of touring. I know you hit up a lot of places. Like I've seen you come to Albany, I think twice since I've lived
Yeah.
here. And I'm like, this guy must be moving all over the place if he's able to do these shows in Albany and different places like that. So how do you think things are going to move probably top of 2021 or internationally? I don't know if everywhere in the world has these restrictions or it's just America. How do you think things are looking
Um,
to forecast?
well, I think it's a global pandemic, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, your crystal ball is as good as mine, bro. I
Got you,
mean,
got you, got you, got you.
we don't know. We just got to wait this out. I just know that I can't sit down there and worry about something that I can't fix. So at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, I'm here in the studios. I'm working with promoters. I'm producers. I just dropped Hot Shot 2020. I'm doing the next single to put out now. I got to go shoot videos. I'm doing a new Christmas reggae album. I'm working on helping Concra do his record. I'm doing Spice's new album I produced, and
Wow.
that's coming at the top of the year. I'm also probably going to start helping Sting do his album around October around in time. So there's a lot of stuff that I just stay busy. I don't have a
Definitely,
choice.
man. Well, salute to you. Definitely, man. I'm happy to be on here right now with the legendary Shaggy in the building.
Give
We
thanks.
recording for the radio as well. So they can find this on all streaming platforms. What's
Yeah,
your social media? If they not following you, they just listening on the air.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to make
yeah,
sure we aware of everything that's going on in Shag because you got a big fan base up here. You already know that.
yeah. Give thanks. At the Real Shaggy at DI Real Shaggy, and they could hit me up. It's also the same on Twitter, and on Facebook is /Shaggy.
Oh, I know what I
So.
had to ask you before I hop off here. I did an interview with Rayvon before.
Mhm.
What's the story of he was supposed to be on the original It Wasn't Me, but he
Mhm.
wasn't on? How did run that story back because he told the story, but I want to hear how you tell the story because that's a
Eh,
legendary. Like he was like he's kind of
I
kicking
mean,
himself for not being on there or something like that. How did that go down?
well, he didn't have to kick himself because he was on Angel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
so,
he says a
so
lot of people always mistake him for
for
originally
Rick, yeah,
singing that song.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the story.
because he ended up singing it, even though you gotta remember Rick Rock, who I wrote. There's a great story out now on if you go on YouTube and check out the making of, It Wasn't Me. Vice did an amazing documentary on it.
Okay, dope, dope,
Yeah,
dope. I
so
didn't see that yet,
yeah,
so
go
I
check
will
it
be
out on
asking the
YouTube.
same questions.
Yeah, the making of Wasn't Me. If you go check that out, Vice just did an amazing documentary on it. It's a 20-minute doc. It's really, really good, and it really points out everything. It's an amazing story. But when I wrote the song, I wrote it with me and this guy called Rick Rock, and he wasn't really an artist. I wrote it in Jamaica. So we needed a singer, and I came back and I voiced a lot of people. I actually voiced Ray Vaughan. I voiced Wayne Wonder, voiced that song also.
Mm.
Notch from The Born American wrote voiced that song, and Robert Livingston was my manager at the time. Didn't like the song, and I ended up giving the song away to Tonto and Devante, who did Everyone Falls in Love, the
Oh
original
yeah,
song,
definitely.
and I gave it to his A&R, who actually did not like the song. He said he doesn't think it was a hit, and he played another song called Gal Savoy, produced by Tony Kelly. But I was also co-writing on that with me and Tony Kelly and everybody at the time when we did that in the studio. But the short of the story is Rayvon. We had He had voiced it, but when at the end of the day, by the time Hans the A&R decided that we should do the record, we just literally edited up. Sting International actually just edited up Rick Rock's original voice because
Hmm.
really nobody had that sound. The sound that they all sang it great, but they just didn't have that tone that Rick Rock had was just such an amazing
Yeah,
energy on it. And we just do that and we put that out. We just put it on the record because it wasn't even looking to be an album and to be a single. And it went off. And at that point, Rick was pushed into the lane of being an artist. And but he just genuinely really wasn't an artist. At the end of the day, Ray Vaughn ended up singing it on tour.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Ricky ended up going back, ended up living in Cayman with his wife and joining the church and whatever else he does.
Nice, nice, nice.
It really worked out. But Ray Vaughn, so when I was doing it over, I just flipped it now because Sting, a lot of his album was done backstage at Sting's play, and Sting kind of just walked in and started singing Angel, and said, "Let me sing that one." So I said, "Shit, well, okay, let me just put Ray Vaughn on Wasn't Me because he sang it every night anyway. He knew it."
Yeah, yeah. That was funny. He was telling me he was going around taking credit for a while. If the women was coming up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody thought it was him,
it's
but it made sense because he sang Angel, so he sang the two big hit songs every night,
yeah,
and
big up to
yeah.
Rayvon. That's
Oh
one of
yeah,
my
that's
favorite
nah, man. That's my bro.
songs. I told him that
Uh,
Bashment Party is one of my favorite
that's
songs.
another one
So
too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of people don't know that I was behind that record too.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought you had the what's the one you go?
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, yeah.
I was the one. I took. We went to do Hot Gal tonight, and I went and pick up Red Fox. Red Fox had the song. He was the one that wrote the song, and Red Fox wanted to use. I think it was Naturally or Mr. Easy or Screechy Don. He was looking for any of those
Mm.
guys. We couldn't find them, so I went and picked up Rayvon and took them to the studio. The studio was Philip Smart Studios. I rented the studio tonight and paid for all of it. And Dave Kelly came down and flew Dave Kelly down and cut the record. But it was supposed to be flew up to cut my record.
Wow. So
And
y'all all recorded
and
that rhythm that night? Like,
yeah, well, no, I didn't even get to do mine. I just told Dave to do theirs first. And that took up most of
wow.
the night, most of the time anyway, by the time we were done. So I just told Dave I'll go back to Jamaica and voice it. And I ended up going back to Jamaica and voice mine. But I basically put that whole thing together to let them
Well, all of
do
y'all killed
what
that
they
rhythm.
did.
That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
rhythms of all time. If you
Oh
ever
yeah,
hear me
it's a
DJing,
great.
you go and hear that in my dance hall
Yeah,
set.
yeah. No, it's classic and props to Red Fox who came up with the whole concept of it. It was his idea to use that hook and everything and did it. But you can't get away from Rayvon's voice. His voice is magic, man. Girl, you're having a bashment party.
Yo,
People can. It's just like fire,
out of
man.
here, out of here, out of
It's
here.
like
Well,
such a
man,
good
like I
vibe.
said, appreciate you. Anytime you want to tap in with me, we around, man. I love to hear the stories from back in the days to today. Definitely legendary. Appreciate your perspective on
Yes,
everything.
sir.
Tell
Anytime.
everybody where they can hear Top Shots 2020 so they can get the experience one last
Well,
time.
Hot Shot 2020 is available on all streaming format. Make sure you go get it. It also has the song Banana, which is doing incredibly well for us around the world. It's got Electric Avenue, got all the favorites from Angel, It Wasn't Me, Love Me, Mr. Boombastic, all the classics. You go check it out. It's perfect for COVID. And, make sure you got it, you know what I'm saying? Hot got it going on, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. My man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Big up. Blessings to you, man.
Yeah, thanks, my brother. Respect.